Okay, so this is the code for my International Space Station tracker that shows the position of the International Space Station uh, at any given point in real time over the Earth. This is written in processing Java. The more visual brother aspect of Java, but it does the job. Also used for programming Arduinos. So this is about 239 lines of code, and what it's using is it's using publicly available information about the ISS. In this case, I'm using a website API, which is right here. It's called, I think it's called Where is the ISS? Where is the ISS? And what it's doing, it's getting latitude, longitude, altitude, velocity, and visibility. And the visibility part has to do with reflecting if it's day, nighttime, or as they say, eclipse, which I probably think is probably like either dusk or dawn. So just so it's either getting just about to get completely dark, or it's about to get light. So it's either coming out of the shadow or entering the shadow. I believe that's usually the the terminator, if you will. I currently don't have a terminator line because I actually don't want it to actually be a line. I actually want it to be a graphic of like a shadow that covers parts at any given time, parts of the planet that are nighttime, but that actually has to reflect in real time what's going on. So you have to know the position of the sun and in relation to where the continents would be and everything. So it's just not a simple matter of just saying, oh, just draw a shadow over the map. And so what we'll do is first I'm going to go into the sketch folder. So let's show the sketch. They call them sketches. And I'm actually only using two files. So I made the International Space Station is really just it's a silhouette. It's a silhouette of an illustration of the space station that I made. It did have detail before, but then I said, let me just go with a simple look. So this is just a silhouette of the International Space Station. And then my Earth map, again, I went with simple, and it's just a contour drawing of the continents. You got North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, and then you have the Antarctica, which is you have the poles up and top and stuff like that. So that's pretty much, and then you have the major oceans, Pacific, Atlantic Ocean, things like that. And so with that in mind, so those are the files that it refers to in the code, in my code, and right here I have like the ISS and then the Earth map. So the Earth map I just made from actually using a map of the Earth that's been folded out, but then I just said, let me just turn that into a sort of a simplified, just the outlines contour, which is actually surprisingly easy. I thought it'd be complicated, but yeah, it just didn't look good trying to make it look realistic when, I've already seen this. I don't want to put my own flavor on it, so I'm going to start it up. And I did press. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Actually, I do have this version isn't compiled, but I do have a compiled version. But I just wanted to show the code, and then I'll make it full screen. And so this is made to resize. So it doesn't really matter how big it is. Well, if you get to a certain size, then it's sort of pointless to even try to look at it. So that's too small. Get a little bigger. That's manageable. Whatever dimensions that are. or that is, I mean. So, like up in the upper left-hand corner, it shows the latitude, longitude, the altitude. In this case, it's 429 kilometers above the Earth, which is considered low Earth orbit, and the velocity is 29,563 kilometers per hour. And right now, it's in the sun, so it's daylight for them. And yeah, so that's right there. And of course, that's being updated in real time. And then here's the International Space Station. And I made it so that it starts off small, but you can make it bigger by hitting the plus or minus sign. But not too big, not too big. So that's as big as it's going to get. And then, of course, I have the continents, the major continents. At first, I was like, oh, no, I'm not, like I didn't, like I just said Asia, but I didn't go over here and, have Japan. But then I was like, wait a minute. Here I just have North America. It doesn't say Canada or the U.S. And then you start going into Mexico. It just next thing you see after North America is South America. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna have all the details. And of course, like Asia's like 48 countries, Africa's like 53. So it's not like, yeah, and then you have Europe, of course, So it's the only continent where it's like, oh, you pretty much covered everybody is Australia. Also maybe Australia and South America, because I guess that'd be like Central America for between North and South, but whatever. Anyway, you get the point. You get the point. So here it is, and this is updated every 10 seconds. On the website, I believe it's updated every 5 seconds. But I just said I'll just do 6, so that it's not too much of it doesn't have to be that aggressive. So, and this is pretty much it. That's all it does. And there you kind of see the name of the space station. I have some code that changes the name of the application at the top. So technically, this name is being constantly refreshed, probably like 60 times a second. And the way this works is actually I know the default frame rate for things like this is around 60 frames per second, which is good enough for this. So it's constantly being redrawn 60 times per second, which is good enough. It doesn't have to be high performance since it's only being updated every 10 seconds. There's no reason for me to go crazy with frame rates. It's not going to look any better. So, but that's pretty much it. The International Space Station in real time, and this was a cool project. The idea of just taking telemetry information and then turning it into a visual display of something that, I mean, you could literally look up in the sky and see the International Space Station. From eventually, I mean, I don't actually have cities here, so I suppose I could do that, but I didn't want to make it too detailed, too cluttered. I wanted it to look clean, and I was inspired by various real life and imaginary interfaces I've seen. And then of course you want to make it smaller back to its default size. You can, and just for kicks, it's all just colorless, but it's just various values of gray. And here I just have like a sort of like a target circle around it, just so that your eye goes directly to the International Space Station. Yeah, that's pretty much it.